Since our vow here is to keep it real, body of truth, the name says it all. What I want to honor today are those of you that are on the journey. For those of you who have cast off what they know, but are not yet in sight of what is next. It's called the messy middle, and it's fucking excruciating. Welcome to Body of Truth. I'm Rebecca Windsor. Body of Truth was born out of necessity. It was born from most of my life. I have not listened to my inner voice, but definitely in later years turned away from my intuition. Did everything I could not to listen. Lived the lies that I knew, that I was told, but it was by my hand. Then, in a quick succession, my marriage of 25 years ended with a phone call. My son shortly after left for college, and I was left with nothing. I had based my identity around wife and mother more than anything else, and so I really needed to rebuild all the way from the bottom up. And I would say that except for work and things that required my immediate attention, I probably didn't get up off the floor for about a year. And when I was completely beaten down into the ground, surrendering, I had no more strength. I had no more fight in me. I finally quieted down enough to listen. I had no choice. I had nothing left to fight with. And so in that crack in the door, my inner voice started to whisper. And because I didn't slam the door again, no strength. It spoke louder. And then I finally started to allow myself to hear it. And what it had to reveal was not easy to see. So in hearing it, it kind of made me look at my part in a lot of the things that I had created for myself in my life. But it also made me make cognizant decisions as I started to come out of it about what I really did want and what I did not want. But the only thing that really actualized change in my life was I did discover a technique that brings changes up and through my physical body through simple repetition, so that I'm actually embedding a repetitive physical movement into my body. So that when I start to recall these new paradigms, these new decisions that I want to make part of my new life, they have a physical echo. And that brings about an actual neural change in the topography of your brain. And once you change your internal belief system, the external follows suit almost effortlessly. And so I want to share with you what has worked for me and just be really raw and real about the things that come up for me to give you a place to share. So today, I am experiencing that messy middle in the most excruciating way. I have outgrown what I knew, which was an amazing paradigm of growth in itself. But I'm continuing to create the life that I desire deeply. And in order to do that, you got to burn the boats behind you. And what comes with that is not just a mental upheaval. Of course there's a mental upheaval, right? Because now you're routing out things that have been with you a long time. But it is a physical upheaval too. I am so physically uncomfortable today. I have tried all the things that usually work for me, and I cannot get relief. I am on complete tenterhooks. One of my favorite words. I feel raw. I feel exposed. I feel overwhelmed. And I know it's to a glorious end. But I am human. And this is part of the journey. So, if you have had the courage to take one step in change, I applaud you. I deeply understand how scary that is. Especially when you can't see your next stopping point in front of you. So I offer you some space beside me to flail, to be a mess, to be a little bit of a disaster. Some days I burn with such a clear flame, and some days I'm frantically blowing at the wisps of smoke to keep it burning. And we all have all aspects of that journey within us. And I know that tomorrow most likely will be a day of power. Because the one other thing I do want to offer you is, right when you think you just can't really handle much more, a breakthrough comes. A clarity comes. A piece of resolve or support that you didn't expect comes. And you've got mine. I created this space to be a place where we could come together. And we could share our triumphs, our setbacks, and the messy fucking middle. Man, it is messy. So, I wanted to share today my place of where I am presently. Growth and expansion is uncomfortable. It's physically uncomfortable. It's kind of like when you laid in your bed when you were young and you almost felt your bones growing, like you'd ache. I have that fucking ache today. In my soul, I have that ache. So if you're there, it probably means that something big and amazing is coming. So hang in there with me. Put your head down. Take the day and rest if you can. Be kind with yourself. Don't let that bitch, the inner critic, lash you. Mine's trying. She sees the foothold where she could come in and start to completely flame me alive. I'm not doing that. I'm staying in compassion. And I offer that to you today. I hope this gave you a place to rest. I appreciate the space to rest in myself. I'll see you tomorrow.